Welcome, Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights. Thanks, sponsors, Topps Panini and Upper Deck, Heritage Auctions, Talking to Scott Auctions, Mike Stadium Sports Cards, Burbank Sports Cards, ComC.com, Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication. One of the things I enjoy, and my lovely wife affirms, is that in the interview dynamic, it is fun back and forth. I have a different cadence of those episodes where it's just me as opposed to somebody else. But further, it depends on whether I'm interviewing somebody or they're interviewing me, hence the dueling questions occasionally. I had an episode where I interviewed Brody the Kid, but I also was on his show, Hobby Life, his YouTube show, and he interviewed me. And there were a number of questions there that were fresh. Part of the fun of doing this is that I can be interviewed by Rich Klein, who knows me pretty well, to somebody like Brody, who's 12 and a half, and learning about life and really seems to be a young man on the right track. So hope you enjoy this 7 minutes of interchange between Brody and myself. And Brody, keep up the good work. So here it is.
Time now to play hold, sell, buy. We're going to start off with basketball. Like a big guy last year, Zion Williamson.
I would sell, if I was going to make a play in basketball, I would be looking for Luka cards that haven't gone up yet. If I got a great Zion card, I would immediately trade it for equal value of Luka.
And the next guy on my list was Luka Doncic.
Luka, probably a buy on Luka, but not at the high prices. I'm such a price guide guy. I really be looking for something that hadn't gone up yet. There's some cards that are just outrageously priced. I'd be looking for something that was still a good card, maybe not as popular right now. Like his second-year cards might be a better bargain, perhaps. But I don't want to pay huge bucks for something because Luka is still speculative. He's amazing, but he's 21. He's fun to watch. You can't just say a buy. It's got to be at the price. So at an inflated price, I'm not a buyer at any price. In fact, that's more the way I am because of all my price guide experience. I wouldn't buy anything if it's double overpriced, and I would buy anything if I thought it was half price. Luka, unfortunately, there's nothing half price about Luka. I think there's some double price things on Zion where he hasn't completely proved himself. He's way more susceptible to injury than Luka.
And I think some of the stuff Luka is, I think those big boy cards, I don't think you buy it because all it does is take one bad roll on an ankle and it could mess up his whole career. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but you never know.
He's less susceptible to injury than Zion for sure because he's not doing it by speed. He just understands the game. So I think he'll get injured less.
Definitely. All right, next up, we got Bryce Harper, who I think is a pretty interesting one. Kind of been okay on this. I think they're hitting a lot of homers.
I'm selling. I think he's an amazing player, but I would be selling Bryce Harper. Nobody asked me these questions, Brody, so thank you, but I'm not as high on Bryce Harper. My selling is saying I don't think I'm as high on Bryce Harper as other people are. So therefore, if I got one, I would trade it for somebody that I think is, and like other people are higher on Zion than I am. And with Luka, I'm really high on Luka. I think Luka could be an all-time great.
Like you said, with Luka, I'd probably trade Bryce Harper.
Exactly, in a heartbeat.
I'd trade it for a Luis Robert, really cool card or something like that. Next baseball, I was really excited to hear what you thought about this one. Pete Rose.
I've met Pete Rose, and he's a very amazing guy, but I think he doesn't mind being controversial. It'd be really interesting to see if two things happen. One, if he ever gets in the Hall of Fame, which is a possibility. I'm not ruling that out. And the second thing, which is a really sad thing, is when he dies, because everybody dies when he dies, because under the scrutiny of his abilities and intensity on the field, he's absolutely a Hall of Famer. You're not supposed to bet on baseball. He was not only betting on baseball, but betting on his own team. He's so feisty, and the force of will that he had, there's so many things about him that are worthy of emulating. It's not the gambling. So I think if people discount him too much, they're making a mistake. It's like Barry Bonds, same thing. Statistics don't lie.
I think if he's the all-time hit king when he dies, too, he's still a...
And there may be some softening. And not to moralize here too much, all cheating is not the same. When you're growing up, everybody, makes mistakes. But mistakes or cheating, there's levels of things where certain kinds of things put you in jail. And other things get you suspended from school or a warning. Obviously, it's better not to make mistakes, not to cheat, not to lie. But if you do mess up, you fess up. But he didn't do that. So he's compounded some of his problem on his own. But he may be forgiven. There's already people who forgive him already. So I have Pete Rose, and I'm not getting rid of Pete Rose. I'm not a seller.
He's a great player.
Yes.
Best ever. So should be interesting to see with that. We'll see. Junk wax.
Okay.
I just want to hear your opinion.
There no longer is such a thing as junk wax. There is junk cards and junk products. But the worst junk thing that you have, if it's in a wax pack, people want it now because they want the thrill of opening it, even if it's a bunch of junk cards but you might get a star player, and it might be gradable if it's right out of the pack. So junk wax is not the thing. It's because junk wax, I'm just shocked. If you have unopened product from the most mass-produced thing, if it's still unopened, people will want it at a much higher price than they did a year or two ago.
Yeah.
But there's some way overproduced products, as evidenced by the fact that as soon as you open that junk wax, unless you get a star that you want to grade, what you got out of the pack is not really worth anything.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't sell it, I don't think.
Probably not.
So that's junk to me. Junk would mean it has no value. In fact, it almost has negative value because storing it, there's a cost in storing it. But if you have an open pack, people want unopened packs now.
Yeah, especially some of the prices now.
So junk is correct. Wax is not. Wax is good. Junk is bad.
I like that. So wholesale rip. So you walk into Walmart and you find 5 Prism football blasters. Do you hold them? Do you open them or rip them, or do you sell them?
I'm not typical, but I'm not going to leave them on the shelf for the next person to come along. If it's a good deal and there's no restrictions, yes, I'm going to buy all 5. I think this is what you want to hear deep down, Brody. I'm going to rip them.
Yeah.
I'm going to gently rip them. I'm not going to mess them up or anything, but I'm going to carefully open them. I'm learning is that I should open them up on camera. Turn on the camera and see what I got and share it with the world, because obviously what would happen is if I didn't have the camera on, I'd probably get something great. If I do have the camera on, I'm going to get shut out probably, but maybe not. I really enjoyed watching your episode. Was it 2020 Bones Best or something when you pulled that 1-of-1 trout? Oh my goodness. That never happens to me. But I'm probably not ripping as much as you. So no, I wouldn't put it back. I'm not a big fan of putting unopened stuff away for years, even though there's an investment strategy with that. I think the hobby is here to be enjoyed. I wouldn't say open 4 of them and save 1. I just would open up all 5 and enjoy, and it'd be cool. And I might get something great. I might, and I might not. But you never know.
It is time for Interrupting Game Show.
Sorry.
Brody's going to ask you a question. You have to answer as quickly as you can.
NBA, NFL, or MLB?
NBA, that's where my season tickets are.
Skittles or M&Ms?
M&M's, plain.
Favorite subject in school? I think we learned about it.
Math or statistics, yeah.
Did anyone put mustard on a hot dog?
Always.
Okay. Interesting. Would you rather open a pack of cards every 10 minutes for a week straight, or not opening packs for a year?
Every 10 minutes for a week?
Yeah, you don't get any sleep. You'd just be sitting there every 10
I
minutes.
can do it. I'm famous for not needing much sleep. Bring them on.
Favorite ballpark snack?
Hot dog with mustard. Maybe a little bit of relish. A little bit of onion.
Action movie or spooky movie?
Action.
Retail product or
Hobby. Obvious.
binders or penny sleeves?
Penny sleeves. No binders for me anymore. I discontinued binders 15 years ago.
Interesting. All right. Would you rather have lifetime VIP tickets in the World Series or perform in the Super Bowl halftime show?
The tickets. I want to be in the halftime show.
Which is worse, drinking 10-day-old spoiled milk or pack searchers?
For me to do or for me to criticize? Gosh. Pack searchers are not as bad. There's some ingenuity in pack searchers. I think it's wrong, but I think a lot of people do it, and have done it for many years.